सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तवम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणान् ब्रह्मणस्पद आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम्। ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। नारद उवाच प्रणम्य शिरसा देवं गौरीपुत्रं विनायकं भक्तावासं स्मरेन्नित्यम् आयुः कामार्थसिद्धये। प्रथमं वक्रतुण्डं च एकदन्तं द्वितीयकं तृतीयं कृष्णपिङ्गाक्षं गजवक्त्रं चतुर्थकं लम्बोदरं पञ्चमं च षष्ठं विकटमेव च सप्तमं विघ्नराजं च धूम्रवर्त्मं तथाष्टमं नवमं भालचन्द्रं च दशमं तु विनायकम् एकादशं गणपतिं द्वादशं तु गजाननं द्वादशैतानि नामानि त्रिसन्ध्यं यः पठेन्नरः न च विघ्नभयं तस्य सर्वसिद्धिकरं प्रभो इति नारदपुराणे संकटनाशन गणेश स्तोत्रम संपूर्णम। ओम we'll do an extract of Guru Stotram. अखंड मंडलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। Let's do Dakshinamurti Stotram. Dhyana Shloka first and then regular Stotra. मौन व्याख्या प्रकटित पर ब्रह्म तत्त्वं युवानं वर्षिष्ठान्ते वसदृशिगणैः आवृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येन्द्रं करकलित चिन्मुद्रमानन्दरूपं स्वात्मा रामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे। वटविटपि समीपे भूमिभागे निषन्नं सकलमुनिजनानां ज्ञानदातारमारात् त्रिभुवन गुरुमीशं दक्षिणामूर्तिदेवं जनन मरण दुःखच्छेद दक्षं नमामि। चित्रं वटतरोर्मूले वृद्धा शिष्या गुरुर्युवा गुरोस्तु मौनं व्याख्यानं शिष्यास्तु छिन्न संशया निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। Let's do the stotra proper. विश्वं दर्पण दृश्यमान नगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्गोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोध समये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयम् तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः। इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ् निर्विकल्पं पुनः माया कल्पित देशकालकलदा वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतम् मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः। इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये यस्यैव स्फुरणं सदात्मकम् असत्कल्पार्थकं भासते साक्षात् तत्त्वमसीति वेदवचसा यो बोधयत्याश्रितान् यः साक्षात् करणात् भवेन्न पुनरावृत्तिर्भवाम्भो निधौ तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः। इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये नानाछिद्रघटोदरस्थितमहादीपप्रभाभास्वरम् ज्ञानं यस्य तु चक्षुरादिकर्णद्वारा बहिस्पन्दते जानामीति तमेव भान्तमनुभात् एतत् समस्तं जगत् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये देहं प्राणमपीन्द्रियाण्यपि चलान् बुद्धिं च शून्यं विदुः श्रीवारान्दजडोपमा स्वहमिति भ्रान्ता वृषम्वादिनः मायाशक्तिविलासकल्पितमहाव्यामोहसंहारिणे तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये राहुग्रस्तदिवाकरेन्दुसदृशो मायासमाच्छादनात् सन्मात्रकरणोपसंहरणतो यो भूत्सुषुप्तः पुमान् प्रागस्वाप्समिति प्रबोधसमये यः प्रत्यभिज्ञायते तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बाल्यादिष्वपि जागृदादिषु तथा सर्वास्वस्थास्वपि व्यावृत्तास्वनुवर्तमानमहमित्यन्तः सदा स्वात्मानं प्रकटीकरोति भजतां यो मुद्रया भद्रया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये विश्वं पश्यति कार्यकारणतया स्वस्वामि सम्बन्धतः शिष्याचार्यतया तथैव पितृपुत्राध्यात्मना भेदतः स्वप्ने जागृति वा य एष पुरुषो माया परिभ्रामितः तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये भूरम्भान्स्य नलो नीलोऽम्बरम् अहरनाथो हिमांशुः पुमान् इत्याभाति चराचरात् तमिदं यस्यैव मूर्त्यष्टकम् नान्यत् किञ्चन विद्यते विमृशताम् यस्मात् परस्मात् विभोः तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये सर्वात्मत्वमिति स्फुटीकृतमिदं यस्मादमुष्मिंस्तवे तेनास्य श्रवणात् तदर्थमननात् ध्यानाच्च संकीर्तनात् सर्वात्मत्वमहाविभूतिसहितं स्यादीश्वरत्वं स्वतः सिद्ध्ये तत्पुनरष्टधा परिणतं च ऐश्वर्यमव्याहतम् इति दक्षिणामूर्ति स्तोत्रम्. We will now chant Gita Dhyanam and then go into Gita. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvamanusandathami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullaravindaaya Tapatra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taira Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraikapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gita Mritaduhe Namaha Sarvopanishado Gavaha Gogdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdam Gita Amritam Mahate Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanura Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Bhishmadrona Tataja Dratajala Gandhara Nilotpala Bhishmadrona Tataja Dratajala Gandhara Bhishma Gandhara Nilotpala Shalyagrahavati Kripena Vahani Karnena Velakula Ashwathama Vikarna Ghora Makara Duryodhana Vartinim Sotirna Khalu Pandavai Rananadi Kaivartaga Keshavaha Para Sharyavachas Saroja Mamalam Gitartha Gandot Katham Nana Kyanaka Kesaram Harikata Sambodhana Bodhitam Loke Sajjana Shapataira Haraha Pepiyamanam Muda Bhuyad Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Pradvamshina Shreyase Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Dangayate Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Yam Brahma Varuna Indra Rudra Marutah Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangha Padakramopanishadai Gayanti Yam Samagaha Jnanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginah Yasyantam na Vidusura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Om Shri Krishna Paramatmane Namaha. अथ दशमोऽध्यायः विभूति योगो नाम दशमोऽध्यायः. Okay, we'll now be doing 4 verses today, 12, 13, 14, 15. They are Arjuna Uvacha. Arjun says, our search for a Pratyaksha Ishvara. We want to see Ishvara Pratyaksha. In fact, long ago, I was attending a Satsang in which there was a young man who asked a question to the saintly person there. He said, can you tell me a direct way of reaching God? Not this way, that way, twists and turns. A direct way of reaching God. And the saintly person said, Bhakti is the best. And I'm not disputing any of those statements. Direct way of reaching Bhakti. So we have studied during the course of our satsang, that is, there is Eka Saguna Rupa Ishvara Bhakti. Where I see Bhagwan as a form, single form. Rama, Krishna, Eka Saguna Rupa Ishvara Bhakti. Then we have Aneka Rupa Saguna Ishvara Bhakti. He is not Krishna alone. I can see Krishna as Mahavishnu alone. I can see various avatars of Aneka Rupa. He has got very many Rupas. Then from there, in these two Rupa, the Eka Rupa and the Aneka Rupa Ishvara Bhakti, I am looking for Pratyaksha Ishvara. But what I am getting is not Pratyaksha Ishvara. I am getting only a Paroksha Ishvara. I am using these terms. I am sure by this time all of you are pretty familiar. Paroksha means I do not have direct sensory perception of Ishvara. I have heard and I have an indirect knowledge. Okay, that is called Paroksha Ishvara. My search is for Paroksha Ishvara. And in chapter 10, Krishna says, your search for a Paroksha Ishvara and the Pratyaksha Ishvara are both valid. He is not dismissing it. That's important, very important. In fact, the search for the Paroksha Ishvara is what is taking some faiths into another world. A world hereafter. There's so many such faiths there. They say here you will not get God. You will have no association with God now. But if you live one particular form of life in a world hereafter, after your death, you will have sakshatkar with Bhagwan. That model seems to be easily acceptable. Doesn't tax you much. Suppose I tell you, you live a life, as you have to do bhakti, this. One day what will happen? This body will get dropped off. And you will get direct sanidhyam. Sanidhyam means face to face with Ishvara. And then to reinforce that, you say, anyway, this body has come out of papam. You are struggling. You are suffering. Therefore, pray to Ishvara that suffering and struggling should end and Ishvara should take you to meet him. So once I was there in some place where some people were singing bhajans. Hey Krishna, either you come to me or call me to you. Nice bhajan, very, very emotional. The people who were singing got emotional. Everybody was crying. Either you come to us or call me to you. After that, I was supposed to talk. I told them, suppose Krishna came here, can you handle it? More importantly, if he came here and said, Chalo, let's all go back home to my place, where are you ready to go? Thereafter, they never called me because he never explained. Because it's easier to appreciate that someday he will call you. So, that Ishvara hereafter is perhaps you can relate to easily. Okay, at least it gives you hope. Let all the suffering go on here. Some point of time there will be no suffering. I will go to Ishvara. In my next, they don't call it next life. Hereafter, I will go to Ishvara. After this birth, I will go to Ishvara. And that Ishvara is given a location. And okay, up to a point. But when you come to a subject like Bhagavad Gita, and the question you ask is, Ishvara, I am suffering, so take me to you. Suppose you ask the question, why am I suffering? And the teacher comes and says, you're suffering because of your prarabdha karma. Okay, then how long will I suffer? Some people say you will till you come to Vaikuntha. And Age Piche is that some fellow who have not less, who have done less punya seems to go earlier. I have done a lot of punya, I have not gone. So all these Age Piche is there. He said all this is prarabdha karma. So the mind at some point of time wants to know in depth. So you would like to know. When you come to the second section of the Bhagavad Gita, Madhyama Shatkam, your mind goes to what is called Janati. Janati means I want to know more about it. Tell me more. In these days, you search for something in internet. And then it'll tell you M-R-E and then dot, dot, dot. You want to know more. So you want to know more. And Ishvara was, because as long as you, then of course they took you from Vishwarupa, from Ekarupa, Anekarupa, and then move further up to Vishwarupa. The whole Srishti is Vishwa. Is Ishvara. Whatever you see is Ishvara. And the logic given was the material cannot be away from the cause. So what you see is actually Ishvara manifesting in different names and forms. Now that is when you find it a little, it needs a certain insight. Okay. I see something in front of me. Okay, I see a nice pen drive. I see some pens. I see another pen. I see a mobile phone. I see chairs there, books. To see all this is Ishvara, it calls for insight. Calls for insight. And at that point, Arjun wants to know more of this insight. He says, you are saying this is me. Suddenly, why did the camera go off? Oh yeah, stop. Sorry. You are saying this is me. You are saying this is me. You are saying this is me. This is me. You are saying all these are. You are saying this is me. This is me. This is Ishvara. Everything is Ishvara. He says, how do I recognize Ishvara? So, I would like to know among the entire Srishti, where is it that I feel your presence more? Careful, okay? For example, you go to the doctor for treatment. And these days they have various methods. But even today, there is one treatment the doctor always, and that is holding a stethoscope. And assuming the doctor does not have a stethoscope, he will press eyes. Okay. Now, your life is present all over the body. Are yaar, kya ho gaya? Why does it keep going on? Okay, I'm pressing the wrong button. Your life is present all over the body. Why not the doctor touch this and say, is it okay? Why only here? Why only here? Why this? The presence of your life, your throbbing life, is felt there in a more recognizable manner. It's not that your life is not here. So in the same way, Arjun wants to know, this is the way I know the world. Is there somewhere in Srishti how I can recognize your presence? That's a question he has in his mind. And up to this time, by the time chapter 10 has come, Arjun is fairly convinced that the person in front of him, Sri Krishna, is no ordinary person. We all say, when we ask questions, when you sit in the Satsang with our Swamiji, and we ask a question to Swamiji. The first thing, the teacher wants to be absolutely sure about one. Is it, are you asking for the sake of knowing, or are you asking to test me? There is one more category of people. Swamiji, I have a question. They will speak 20 minutes on that. So then Swamiji will say, what is the question? It's a question now. So there is no question there. He wants to express his thoughts. He likes to hear his own voice, most probably. So Swamiji wants to, the teacher here, including our Swamiji, very often will want to know, where is this question coming from? Is it coming from the Jigyasu? Or is it this question is coming from somebody who wants to prove me wrong? Or wants to just get into a debate, tarka? There are also people who listen to various discourses. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the Sunday is a holiday. All other days, 6 days, 6 discourses. And they will come to Swamiji himself and say, Swamiji, why don't you come and listen to that discourse? They also want to convert Swamiji. So, the question reveals something about the seeker itself. The question reveals how much Shraddha the seeker has. So throughout, it is called Pratibodha. At every point of time, Arjun has always revealed his Shraddha. So first he said, Shishyaste aham shadhimam tvam prapannam. I surrender to you. I am your Shishya. Shishya is much different than just a student. The student relationship, after a point of time, you say, I am a student. I was a student. Okay. But when it comes to Shishya, one is permanently a Shishya. The Guru status, the Shishya could have become a Guru for so many more people. But Guru status and Shishya status is the relationship that doesn't change at all. So, Shishyaste, Mom, I have surrendered and I have become your Shishya. At one point of time, he told, Hey Krishna, Vyamishreneva Vakyena Buddhim Mohayasi Iva Me Buddhim Mohayasi. You are as though confusing me. tat ekam vada nischitya. Then another point he says, I would like to know your, before knowing the Vishwarupa, he said, I've heard something called Krama Mukti. I've also heard people say that I don't have to do all these exercises. Now, time will come when I can do yogic practice. My what is called this Sukshma Sharira will leave. It will go to Brahma Loka and there I will get mukti. I've heard about it. That also is explained by Krishna. Now, Krishna, Arjun wants to ask this question for you and I to understand. It is not Bhagavad Gita is meant for you and I to understand. It is not meant for academics appreciation. I can appreciate Bhagavad Gita, better don't come. So it is meant for relating. So every word that Krishna, Arjuna says of Krishna, imagine you are talking to Ishvara. You are talking to Ishvara himself. How would you ask the question? So the 12, 13 are glorifying verses. So let's read and then see understand. Arjuna uvacha param brahma param dhama param brahma param dhama pavitram paramam bhavan pavitram paramam bhavan. One line, first line again. Param brahma param dhama pavitram paramam bhavan purusham shashvatam divyam purusham shashvatam divyam adidevam vibhum adidevam vibhum. Whole line. Purusham shashvatam divyam adidevam ajam vibhum. Yeah, it's not adidevam, it's adidevam. Adidevam ajam vibhum. Whole verse. Param brahma param dhama pavitram paramam bhavan purusham shashvatam divyam adidevam ajam vibhum. These are glorifying Bhagavan. Bhagavan, who you are seeing as Ekarupa, Ishwarupa, Anekarupa, you are glorifying Bhagavan. It is not glorifying, say, Bhagavan this, you are Bhagavan this, you are not doing maska. Okay, you are not polishing Bhagavan. You are relating to Bhagavan in this way. Param Brahma. It's an amazing word. Very often, we use a word, very often, let's say in the house, there is a person who is non-reacting to anything. A lot of challenges going on. People are fighting. They are killing each other over property. And this fellow is sitting. People say Param Brahman. Param Brahman makes. See, this Param Brahman is known as somebody who doesn't react to anything at all. That is not Param Brahman. So Brahman comes from the root Brih. Brih means big. You always have known the meaning of the big, word big, as an adjective. Okay. Big, small. Adjective, a big one. I want a big one. And then I want a small spoon. So you always known it as an adjective of a noun. So when we are talking about Brahmam, Param Brahma, the Brahma brick here is itself a noun. Careful, okay? It's a noun. For example, you're not talking about a big mountain and big world and a lot of, that's not you're talking about. You're talking about the big, the quality or the content of bigness. What makes big, big? And Param Brahma. What is, if I can use the word, very poor word, I'll leave it. Ultimate big. So, hey Krishna, hey Ishvara, you are. So now, suppose I'm relating to this big. How do I relate to this big? Yes, we have a sutra. Have you all heard of Purusha Suktam? Sahasra Shirsha Purusha Sahasrakshas You are so big that the whole Srishti is accommodated into you. So I am able to relate to the big into which everything is accommodated. Even space is accommodated. Time is accommodated. So, hey, Param Brahma. He is addressing Krishna. He says, I am seeing a visual form, a small form, but I am insightfully able to appreciate that huge form of yours. It is not a huge form, the bigness of yours. Yeah. Param Dhama. Param Dhama is that which sustains everything. So, for all the gold ornaments, which is the Param Dhama, gold is the Param Dhama. For this entire Srishti, we know only our planets and then the 9 planets which affect us. Guru Perchi is happening now and things like that affect us. Beyond that, what do we know? All that is accommodated into this big Ishvara, Param Dhama. Param Dhama. Then Pavitram. Paramam Pavitram. Why should I use Pavitram? Pavitram here in the form of pure. Meaning what? Everything that is accommodated into you does not or cannot make you impure. For instance, when everything is accommodated into me, even asuras are accommodated, no? Ravana, Dushasana, Karna, all these people are into me. Remember, Bhagwan is not only for the good, Bhagwan is for everybody. That is the beauty of the Vedic Parampara. That's why in one point Yudhishthira asked the question, hey, you are talking about heaven, and what are these poppies doing here? So everybody is accommodated. Paramam Pavitram. So let's take a small example. You are seeing a movie. What is a movie? Towering Inferno. A huge building goes up in flames. Okay. Did the screen go up in flames? You saw another one, Titanic. Ship breaking, sinking. What happened to the screen? So the glorious sailing of Titanic was accommodated. The breaking of Titanic was accommodated. The death of so many people were accommodated. They were accommodated in the screen. Nothing happened to the screen. Paramam Pavitram. Last word, Bhavan. You are that. So very important for us bhaktas. How do you relate to Ishvara? Is Ishvara is, of course, a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people relate to Ishvara very really. For them, Ishvara is no joke. For them, Ishvara is real. They speak out aloud to Ishvara. Hey Parameshwara, Ishvara, Muruga, rescue me. Uddhara Mam. There's a bhajan. Hey Govind, hey Gopal, Uddhara Mam, protect me. Deenam, Ati Deenam, Balahinam, I am so weak, protect me. So for him, Bhavan, you are real for me. Ishvara will reveal himself to you. You will understand Ishvara better if Ishvara, you relate to Ishvara properly. It's okay if he is paroksha. It's indirect, it's okay. The search for pratyaksha is also okay, but it must be a genuine search. I want to see Ishvara, not to show it to neighbors that I have got contact with Ishvara. Along with so many connections I have on my iPhone, I want to have one more connection, which is Ishvara. I am not like that. Okay. So, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Pavitram, Bhavan, He Ishvara, you are Bhavan, you are that Bhavan. You, Bhavan is Sanskrit for Aap, Ningal, Aap. Okay. Then you are Purusham. Purusham here means the life factor for everything. See, Purusha is usually your manliness. It is not just manliness, it is the life factor, the flowing life factor. And don't come and say, where is Nari excluded here? We should not come into all that. Purusham here is a life factor. And without Nari, Purusha is incomplete, and without Purusha, Nari is incomplete. And you are also seen in Srishti as a Purusha. You're able to see me here, Srishti. So Purusham. And this is not the Purusham you see in the morning and in the evening. You say, oh, you were speaking so well in the afternoon. Where did he go? So shocking. Not that kind of Purusham. You are Shashvata Purusha. You are Shashvatam. Shashvatam means the permanent one. Other than names, they give beautiful names in North India. Shashvat. Bengali is a very common name. Shashwati. They say it's not Saraswati, it is Shashwati. Shashwati. Shashwatam. You are the permanent one. In fact, you are the only one which qualifies to be called permanent. Meaning we saw para prakriti, apara prakriti. Apara prakriti is Nashwar. Para prakriti is Shashwatam. That which never ever goes away. The awkward kind of definition. Shashwatam, the only permanent one. Okay, Shashwatam. And Divyam. Divyam means everything about Bhagavan is auspicious. They use the word divine. What is the meaning of divine? They say, the fellow has a divine look. What is a divine look? I've tried to understand this. What is this divine look? Eyes half closed, pupils buried, silly smile all the time, lots of hair flowing. Is that a divine look? That cannot be a divine. That's just a myth. Our divinity is when you see a person, or when you look into the eyes of the person, the inner inadequate person is gone. The person who you are constantly seeing you as an inadequate fellow, small fellow, you look at that as an inadequate person. You go and have a temple visit. Today we went to Padmavati Tayar temple there. And when you go inside, all you see is a Vigraha. But when you see the Vigraha, what happens? You no longer feel small. You no longer feel insignificant. It may last only for a short while. That's why we repeatedly go to the temples. Because every time I go there, the small person is knocked off. The insignificant one is knocked off. You are prepared to hear a million times Jarakandi for that a few seconds darshan, because a small one is knocked off. All your smallness is accommodated. That is why it is divine. So, Divyam. Then, Adi Devam. Adi Devam means you are, simple translation will be Adi Deva. What is the simple translation? Yeah. You would say, you are the oldest possible in Srishti. That's not the correct thing. Adi Deva, better expression is, you are the Deva of all Devas. How is it represented? Mahavishnu lying down. Nabi, that Kamal will come. On top of that, Brahma. Then a whole lot of people. They're all Devas. You are the Adi Deva. All others stand after you. You are the Deva. You are Adi Deva. Others shine after you. Adi Devam. So one who is Shashvatam, who is Purusham, who is Divyam, who is Adi Devam must fit into one more category. Ajam. One who is beginning. They say, birthless. It's not birthless. It is beginningless. Ajam. And Vibhum. One who is manifest everywhere as forms. When you talk about manifestation, one manifestation is that of the sky space. But you don't see any form. But there is another manifestation where Sri a lot of material creation. So this material Srishti, Apara Prakriti, all forms, all names and forms are your names and forms. Vibhum. So he is glorifying Krishna. He is relating to Krishna like this. And when you relate to Krishna like this, the mind is ready to accept what comes from that source. And we have to understand a little technically. We talked about Brahma, yeah, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Purusham, Shashwatam, Divyam, Adidevam, Ajam, Vibhum. Which is the noun and which are the adjectives? Is Vibhum the noun and all others are adjectives? Technical, okay, I'm doing this technical because we are in chapter 10. And we are in talk number, how much? 140 plus. Suppose this was a casual talk, I would have not touched this subject. Which is the adjective and which is the noun? There is another usage called, Jayanti is in the English teacher, in apposition. That means both are nouns who reveal a certain fact about the other. Okay, it is not looking for go fetch me a big blue lotus. So what do? I exclude all other flowers. I take the lotus. Among them, I exclude all the colors other than blue. Then out of what is available, I bring the blue, the lotus. Now I have, so adjectives. But here I am talking about a Brahma, who is the Paramdhama. So that Brahma has to accommodate all. That Brahma has to be Paramam Pavitram. The Brahma has to be Purusha. The Brahma has to be Shashwata. The Shashwatam has to be Brahma. Each qualifying each other. This is called nouns in apposition, qualifying each other. There is a small technical aspect. You will find it in very few expressions somewhere. And you're all senior students here. So, and if you're already in chapter 12, I don't mind. I would like you to appreciate this. So when you are relating to Ishvara, okay, and you close your eyes and you are doing this mantra japa, okay? Shantakaram Bhujagasayanam Padmanavam Suresham. Okay? So what is it? Eka Rupa Ishvara. Eka Saguna Rupa Ishvara. What is the next line? Vishwadharam Paramam Dhama. You are an Eka Rupa Ishvara. You are also, it is not you are. You are the Vishwarupa Ishvara who is also available in this form. There is a beautiful song which Swami Dhananji composed. Shanmugam, Bhaja Shanmugam, Sarvagam, Shiki Vahanam. He is composed. Please go to Swamiji's composition. He said, hey Shanmuga, Muruga, six-faced Muruga. Bhaja Shanmugam. I am singing your glory. Sarvagam, you are everywhere. Shiki Vahanam, you are also seated on the peacock. Hey, how is it possible? Because he is Ishvara, it is possible. I am everywhere, but I am available to you for Upasana on top of a peacock. This is the beauty of the Vedic explanation one has to understand. So if you are able to close your eyes and say Ram Lalla ki Jai Ho, and now they say Krishna, here Rama is smiling and his eyes are glowing, perfectly okay. But please understand, don't say I saw him smiling, therefore I am more punyam. You are able to see, wonderful, you have an insight. Okay, now let's go to the next verse.
Best example is Ganesha in the Chuha.
Beautiful example, exactly. A big elephant sitting on a rat. Elephant sitting on a rat. So, that is the example. That is, he has the, I would not say Ishvara has the capacity. I am able to appreciate Ishvara as the total. I am also able to appreciate Ishvara on top of a peacock. When I am able to appreciate Ishvara on top of a peacock, I am in Eka Rupa Saguna Rupa Ishvara Bhakti. And when I am able to appreciate him everywhere, I am in a Vishwarupa. My mind has expanded. That's how we appreciate. Achha, let's then. Ahustvam Rishaya Sarve. Ahuhu Stvam Rishaya Sarve. Devarshi Naradastatha. Devarshi Naradastatha. Asito Devalo Vyasaha. Asito Devalo Vyasaha. Swayam Chaiva Bravishi Me. Swayam Chaiva Bravishi Me. Whole verse. Ahustvam Rishayas Sarve. Devarshi Naradastatha. Asito Devalo Vyasaha. Swayam Chaiva Bravishi Me. Okay. Now, in your life, let's not talk generally, okay? I'm not talking about what Biden wants or what any other fellow wants. I'm asking you a question. Have you heard this sloka? Shantakaram Bhajagasenam Padmanavam Suresham Vishwadharam Gagana Sadusham Megavarnam Shubhangam Lakshmikantam Kamalabanenam Yogi Hridyanagam Vande Vishnum Bhavabhayharam Sarvalokaik. We have heard this sloka. So I am not new to this. It's not that the first time I am glorifying Ishvara, Ishvara. I have come from a parampara. I have come from a tradition where I have always lifted my hands in prayers when I am in trouble, when I want answers, when I don't know what to do. I come from a parampara where I have always looked at Ishvara as something real. Okay, that parampara is being appreciated. Is it Ahuhu Tvam Rishayah? People, rishis have talked about it. I am not saying this for the first time. I am only repeating what the rishis have told. Okay? Okay, Ahuhu. Acha. Then who are these rishis I have heard from? Rishi Arshayaha Sarve. There is a Rishiyonka Rishi, Deva Rishi called Narada. I have heard Narada say this. Yeah, do you know Narada? But I have heard stories of Narada. Think of Narada. Imagine Narada. What comes to your mind? Narayana, Narayana. Does it not come to your mind? That's all they're trying to say. Nothing is out of this world. You already heard it. You are in this parampara. This parampara didn't start yesterday. This parampara is when you say Ajam. What is that parampara which is able to say Ajam to Ishvara? What a parampara we are. What a culture. It says, parampara comes and says Bhagavan is Ajam. That means this Ajam, the parampara older. The parampara itself, that's what we will come to that, okay? So, Devarshi Narada has talked about it. Tatha, Vyasa had two students. Asitaha, Devala. Okay, those are father and son. So, father and son of the same teacher. I've heard Vyasa say, I've heard Asita say, I've said Devala say. And when Narada says, Asita says, Vyasa says, let's say they are all human, rishis. Where did they get this from? Was this, therefore, this drives home the knowledge,
Anadi.
Anadi, beautiful, very well said. See how our mind is working. It is Anadi, meaning it was revealed by Ishvara himself. So he says, Chaiva, you yourself, Swayam Bravishi Me, you have revealed yourself to all these people. When I am saying Param Brahma, Param Dhama, I maybe borrow it from Narada, Vyasa, but you have revealed it to my parampara. I am not saying something imagined. I am not doing some Kapola Kalpana. I am not doing some ching chang for the sake of running my ashram. Yeah, some people do. I am not doing it for that. I am already a well-established grahastha. Yeah, Arjuna is no ordinary grahastha. He had 4 wives. So he must be a sufficient income earning fellow. He had enough arsenal. He had followers. You had to maintain all of them. He was a very affluent guy. So it's not a joke. Please understand, Vedanta Vichara, Bhakti is not a joke. And the whole, it is like when we are reading all this, when we are studying all this, there seems to be so many unconnected parts. And when we learn to look at them properly, they all fall in place. And you have that penny drop feeling, it's clear. Things fall in place. Everything is connected. Everything is connected. See, this morning I was playing with this. When in the class, while doing the meditation, I was playing. It fell from my hand. Okay. I took it and then put it back here. It's after all a pen. Why do we put it in the eyes? Saraswati Devi. What is Saraswati about? There is a culture behind. Why I should know Saraswati Devi, what Saraswati Devi stands for, and and everything is connected. That's the beauty of this parampara. So this also is Bhagavan for me. Okay. So this, I have heard it from you. This has been revealed to me, to everyone by you. Okay. Now let's go to the next verse. Sarvametat ritam manye. Sarvametat ritam manye. Yanmam vadasi Keshava. Yanmam vadasi Keshava. Sarvametat ritam manye. Yanmam vadasi Keshava. Nahite Bhagavan Vyaktim. Nahite Bhagavan Vyaktim. Vidurdevana Danavaha. Vidurdevana Danavaha is an amazing verse. Okay, so let's read it. Sarvametat ritham manye. Yanmam vadasi Keshava. Nahite Bhagavan Vyaktim. Vidurdevana Danavaha. There is a beautiful word used here. Ridham manye. Satyam vacha. No, yeah. Satyam. Satyam vada, they say no. Satyam vadami, ridham vadami, they say no. What is this rhythm word? Truth, truth, truth. It's not just truth. I am saying the truth, and rhythm is it has been validated for me. I am saying something in whose validity I have no second thoughts. It talks about the Shraddha. And vetted, reinforced. It is reinforced. Rhythm manye. For me, first is to say that Bhagavan is Sarvagam, Jnanagamyam. So it is validated for me. This validation all of us have to understand. What has happened is there is a generation which has come up which will question all your practices. Not from other faith, from our own faith, our own family. From our own family. Why should I put pottu? Why should I do this? Why can't I sleep with my head to the north? And the problem is, there is another generation, slightly older generation, trying to look for reasons to validate it scientifically, looking for non-existent reasons. And you sound as hollow as the reason itself. It doesn't. They say, the logic should be so strong. If not, it should be strong enough to hold water. Otherwise, neither the philosophy nor the plumber will work. Your pipeline should be strong. The same way, when I say Ritham Manye, somebody comes and tells me, why do we do all this? You must have the confidence to say, I don't owe you an explanation. Especially when it is our own children, we'll say, Illama, aisa nahi hai bete. I don't owe you an explanation. So let me tell you something which is very personal, which happened. It happened a long time ago, more than 20, 25 years ago. My friend, my late friend, his uncle had passed away. His uncle has 2 or 3 daughters. One of them is an upstart, making millions somewhere in Southeast Asia. And so everybody in the family, including the family priest, everybody hold their hands tight and listen. So that's her father who passed away. So they wanted the rituals done. And she said, I want somebody who will explain the rituals to me. And she says, I don't consider the priest fit enough to explain. And then my friend said, you talk to Mohan. And so I went there and explained. She listens to me for about 1 hour, 45 minutes. And then says, I don't believe in any of it. Can you give me a scientific explanation? I said, I don't need to give you scientific. I said, if you didn't believe it, why did you call me in the first place? Are you not a hypocrite? Then she said, no, I want it. And then why are you doing all this? I said, have the courage to walk out and say, I don't want to do all this. No, I'm doing it for my mother. I said, that is the valid. My mother will be unhappy, so I don't bother what others say or what these stand for, but I will do it. You validate it that way. It is self-validating. Rhythm manye. Such a beautiful word. Rhythm manye. Sarvam etat rhythm manye. What I am talking about is validated, self-validating rhythm manye. And that validated fact, hey Keshava, Mam Vadasi, please explain it to me. I'm asking Ishvara to, you explain to all those people, please be kind enough to explain it to me. Mam Vadasi. Because Nahite Bhagavan Vyaktim. Nobody can do it better than you can. Na Vidu Deva Danava. Among scholars, among Devas, among Danavas, nobody can explain it to me like you can do. It's an amazing statement of Shraddha. So when you approach the teacher with this Shraddha, Swamiji, I would like to know more about this. Swamiji, how do I relate to this? Why do they say this? Then the teacher in you understand where this question comes from. Is I am not doubting your knowledge. I am not doubting the source. I know it is self-validating. I'm not going there to prove anything to anybody. I just want to have certain things clarified. Certain things are muddled. I want them clarified. Okay, that's the thing. Let's read verse 15 and then go into it. Okay, there are various orders of beings. Danavas are a little more aggressive. Devas are not aggressive. You see a movie, one of those mythological movies. How will Devas be? All of them will run to Mahaviష్nu or Shiva or Muruga. This Surapadma is doing this to me. That fellow is doing this to me. The Surapadma will be using a fellow to tie all these fellows. That fellow is a bhakta. Okay, but he will be a little more aggressive. Dan, Deva, Dan. There are orders of beings. Let's say there are orders of beings. Okay, let's see the next one. Swayamevatmanatmanam. Swayamevatmanatmanam. Vettattvam purushottama. Vettattvam purushottama. Bhuta bhavana bhutesha. Bhuta bhavana bhutesha. Deva deve jagatpate. So opening glory is being re. So he says, Bhuta bhavana. From you the entire Srishti has come. You have created all the Srishti. Okay. And Bhuteshwara. You are the Ishwara of all the. You have not only created, it is not creating and hereafter it's your business. No. I not only have I created you, I sustain you. I am there to protect you. Bhuteshwara. Okay. You are again Devas of all Devas. You are the Jagatpate. Okay. Jagatpati. Or a protector always. The father is a protector. Why is he called a Pati? Kuch bhi ho jaye, I am there for you. I am there, I will protect you. I may struggle, I may take an extra job, but I will protect you. Okay? Purushottama, there can be Uttama Purusha, there might be nobody like you. Swayam. Okay? Eva. Atmana. You are the one who is not only this Ishvara, and you know yourself well. Somebody does not have to reveal your glory to you. You are a jnani as well. You are an Atma Jnani as well. Who else can be a better teacher? We'll conclude at this point and see in our next session. Swasti prajabhya paripalayantam न्यायेन मार्गेण महिषा गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्रह्मणः सन्तु निर्भयाः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतंगमय ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति 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 श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय हो स्वामी दयानंद महाराज की जय हो सब संतों की जय हो पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय हो बजरंग बली की जय ओम we'll meet again next week. Om.